Hey, what's up, guys? DJ Matt and MAD checking in, and welcome to a brand new episode. EDM, I'm gonna call this More EDM Volume 1. More EDM Part 1 or Episode 1. More EDM Episode 1. There you go. We're gonna go with that. So, More EDM Episode 1. We're not gonna start from scratch. Actually, this track right here, it's actually a track that I that I started working on. It's called Shirts Off, Lose Control. And I didn't really like the drop, and so all of a sudden I started working on the drop again, melodies, and I came up with something really cool. So I completely decided to just scrap the other track and start a new one. Although I am going to use the other one, which is going to come out on my label very soon. But once I got this drop over here, I was like, oh, you know what? I might as well just record this whole process because it's coming out really cool. So the drums are already made, kind of. I'm going to change a whole bunch of stuff from it. Like you could tell, I got stuff grooved and stuff like that. And the other day I created all of this right here, which is all these gray ones. And I'm mostly using Spire for my synth. And this is what I got. I think I got something really cool right here. So check it out. I think the ending is really cool too. Check it out. So that's what I got going on so far. I don't have a break, no melodies or anything like that. All I have is this drop that I created, and I want to take it from there. So let's get started. I'm not going to take too long on these videos. I'm going to try to keep them, under the 30-minute mark, so that way, the episodes won't be so long and it'll be a little more interesting. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the last time I was doing this, when this part, this lead right here, I wanted to do some reverb and delay build-ups, and you guys are not gonna understand exactly what I mean until I actually start doing it. So I'm just gonna do it, and you guys can check it out, and hopefully you guys will be able to add it to your productions. So let me just label this stuff. Lead main. I'm going to color them a little different than the blue over here, so that way I know that these are the new drops sounds. I cannot stress this enough that it's extremely important for you guys to be organized. Not only because if one day you decide to collaborate with somebody else and they'll be able to find themselves really fast, but also for yourself. When you're producing, you kind of want to find what everything is and, not be so lost. Like, okay, what is this? What is that? Just by having the colors, you should be able to recognize, okay, that's a lead, that's a drop, that's this, and that's that. So, very, very important. So I would recommend for you guys to always try to keep organized. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this track. And I am going to use this part right here. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to bounce in place. Yes. All right, so the reason why I'm going to bounce in place is because I want to have a little more control, and I'm going to be using a few different tracks with reverbs and stuff like that. So I don't want to have a whole bunch of instances of Spire because I already have a whole bunch of them, and I'm trying to save CPU power, although I'm not using that much. By the way, for the guys who are asking, they wanted to know my specs on my computer, I will show you guys right now. These are my specs: 16 gigs of RAM, 2 times 3.2 gigahertz quad core, Intel Xeon, and I also have a whatchamacallit, a Windows 8 hooked up to this computer here. I actually paid like a ton of money for this computer because it was a special order. The highest they sold it at the moment in the store was at 2.9 gigahertz, and I got a 3.2, but I had to pay like almost like $2,500 extra. The good thing about it is that I had this computer for almost 10 years compared to the guys that bought the regular one and they're already stuck on Mountain Lion. Here I'm on Yosemite and I'm still going. So sometimes it's, not sometimes, but most of the times it's better for you to spend the extra money because you're gonna get your money's worth. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is duplicate this, and let's bring this over here. Cut this. This is gonna be my first effect. Okay. So let me see. All right, so what I want here, I want a long reverb on this one. Let's bring in a reverb. What better than Roomworks? There you go. Put this out the way real quick. So I want the reverb time to be a bit long. Mix maybe at 50%. That sounds cool. So, okay, so the reverb time is 8 seconds and 33 milliseconds or whatever. So, okay, that's cool. So let's leave that. All right, so duplicate again. And I want to cut this piece right here. This one I'm going to do a reverb. I mean, not a reverb, a delay. Let's just open it. This thing right here, yeah, it'll be better. Actually, I'm going to leave that instance of Roomworks because I might want some reverb with a delay. So, delay, mono delay. Go into my thing right here. Let's use waves. One thing that I found out the other day about the Waves plugins, if you guys are using Waves plugins, this analog button, it took me a little bit to figure out, and I know some of you will be like, "Oh my god, like how come you don't know about that?" Hey, listen, you learn something new. I'm not saying that I know everything. The point is, for the guys that don't know what this analog thing is, if you actually pay attention to your meters, that analog, all is adding is noise. So if you use a whole bunch of these things like H delays or anything that has analog or whatever that has to do with back in the day analog, you might want to turn this off because all this does is introduces noise. And I will show you right now what it does. For example, am I in the right place? Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so I'm unable to see it here, but I'm able to see it on the master fader, which is a little more defined. Check it out. See that? So all that noise right there is coming from that plugin. So you guys may want to, you know, pay attention to that, because if you add a whole bunch of those plugins and you have that analog all the way up or halfway, it's going to add up to the point where you're going to have that huge hit. So you might want to keep that down. In this case, I got to get a stereo one because I have a stereo track, and maybe that's why I wasn't getting it, getting the noise the way I expected it to. But anyway, regardless of what, we're going to turn that off and let's keep moving forward. So So once I put the whole thing together, you guys are gonna understand what it is that I'm trying to do, and I have a feeling that you guys are gonna like the effect that I'm trying to pull off here. So far we got this. I think I may want that effect to take effect right here. So needs to be a little louder. Okay, the reason why I'm raising the volume on is because the whole mixture of dry and wet is kind of like diminishing the sound. So I kind of have to make it match the original, and I may have to do the same thing here. Actually, this goes here. Sounds cool so far. I'm also gonna need a reverse. And let me just create a track real quick. Audio stereo. That's gonna be for the ghost. Call it ghost effect. All right, so 1 second. Bounce that in place. Not bounce that in place, I mean replace event, whatever. And I want to talk about this real quick because some guys were asking me on the previous videos about how they weren't able to do it as quick as I was doing it, or they really didn't understand it. Whatever the case may be, I'll talk about it for a second and see how much time we got going on. We got 14 minutes. That's cool. Basically what I do is on the Mac, I hold down Option and right click, so you will get all these extra options right here. And what I will do is I will go to Plugins and I will select the reverb. In this case, I will select. I'm gonna have to go to my messy window, which is a default. Yeah, it's a lot of crap in here. My bad. Go to Steinberg and then go to Reverb and then go to Revelation. There you go. I like this one right here. Sounds a little better than the one I had. So I preview what I got going on. So that's what I got going on. You know, I could fix the tail. I could fix the dry mix, whatever. In this case, I want it to be wet all the way. Once I'm happy with it, I just hit process. And then I reverse the whole thing. The reason why I replaced the audio earlier is because if you were to do this without replacing the audio, it will affect the original audio that's over here because it's in it will destroy this audio. Although it's, you know, you're working with non-destructive audio, which you go back, but you don't want to mess with what's going on here. You just want to create, you know, a brand new region. So moving forward, you go to process, audio process, and then you go to reverse, and there you have your ghost effect. So it sounds like this. And of course, you want to, you know, fix it a little bit and place it in the right spot. That should be about right. And you may want to put like a little reverb on it so it won't be so like harsh. In this case, I put the Roomworks. And that will glue the sound with the other one. It will sound like this. It sounds much better. So let's hear what we got so far. So now what I want to do is those horns, I want to get a ghost effect on that too. So we're going to repeat the process. Sorry, we're going to repeat the process. Let's just call it ghost horns. There you go, much better. I'm gonna replace event. Then right click, option right click, plugins. Go to Steinberg. I know some of you are gonna freeze my screen and be like, ah, damn, that guy has a lot of plugins. Yeah, I'm a plugin whore. I know. Sorry. So Revelation again. I already know that preset works for me, so I'm just gonna process it. Again, go to audio process, reverse, and now I have my ghost effect. Turn the quantize thing off, and I'm gonna put a reverb on it. Reverb time at 2.8, and it should sound good. Okay, so maybe the reverb is not needed there. Let's see. Yeah, the reverb is definitely not needed there because of that big room Eric Price snare. So it just works without it. we're gonna put that in a folder so we know all this goes together. This is the pre-hook. But yeah, let's call it pre-hook. So now I know all of that stuff goes together. And what I want to do is I want to send all of that to its own buzz. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So pre-drop. Let's give it a better name. Pre-drop. There you go. Let me just show you guys what I'm doing over here because I got the other screen. So I'm gonna organize this thing real quick. Put it on zones. Put it right next to the others. Now that I have it there, go back over here. And I want to put that next to the leads. There we go. Much better. Basically what I'm doing is I'm copying the same settings as the other lead bus, so it could sound the same. And most importantly, I gotta add a compressor because I got some reverbs and stuff like that, and I want it to come out a little more so it could be a little more glued. That sounds really cool. Let's see what it sounds like in content. There you go. So now you guys understand what I was trying to do. Well, not what I was trying, because I actually accomplished it. I think it sounds really cool, and it'll be a really cool thing to use in your productions. So now hit save. And now that I got that out the way, oh, no, I want to do that towards the end too, my bad. That's the one I want. Sounds about right. So Just add a 1 filter on this one. See how that sounds. Got 25 minutes. I think it's a bit too harsh. The resonance on it is a little too harsh, so I'm just gonna make it normal. Okay, so on this right here, on the lead main, I want to add a reverb to it. Although yes, I know I have a reverb on this one right here, but I want to treat it separately because on this one, what I want to do, and I want to create like a climax type of thing, and I am going to use another Roomworks. The reason why I'm using Cubase's Roomworks is because the more you mess with with production, the more you learn that these plugins that come, the factory plugins, they're already made to work perfectly with the DAW that you're using. So you know, I could use like Lexicon or a whole bunch of different reverbs, waves, and stuff like that. But the thing is that they tend to suck a little more power than the stock plugins. So sometimes you kind of have to limit yourself. So you know, if you use the stock plugins, you can just go butt monkey crazy using a whole bunch of them, and you don't have to worry about your CPU processing load, you know, going crazy on you as much as if it would if you were using waves or something like that. So that's why I'm doing it like this. So let's put this at 2 seconds reverb time. Basically, what I'm doing, I'm making the lead bigger by adding reverb and the mix wet ratio, like going more wet into the wet side and then the dry side. You can see it right here. Once it passes 50%, you know it's more wet than dry or whatever. So it gives you that impression that it's just drowning and it's becoming bigger and more epic and stuff like that. I got to do a little more on the track, but you know, I'm just going along with, you know, step by step. May sound better like that. Okay, that sounds good right there. How many minutes we got going on? We got 31 minutes. Let's go for 5 more minutes. And the next thing that I wanted to add on, let's open the drums. And I wanted to add a snare. Yes. So let's open. Let's open battery. Play with some battery. Yeah, let's play with some battery. So kits. Let's go to 909s. Mm-mm. 808 kit? No, multi 808 kit. No, we definitely don't want that. Let's go to my presets, which I got some cool snares. It just needs like a corny, pattern. I know that's like a typical, whatever pattern, but it just needs something like that. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure I'm on the snare. Sounds kind of cool. It gotta be a bit of mix, but I think I'm gonna mess with that real quick. See what it sounds like. Quantize real quick. Let's cut all this stuff. All right, so one thing that I want to do, we are almost out of time. We have 35 minutes. Yeah, so almost out of time. I wanted to get out of here by 35 minutes. But before I get out, I want to just tune this thing real quick. And I want to bring in the scope. This bad boy right here, which I've used many times. It's very accurate on I'm getting the key. So it's telling me that that snare is on D. I believe the session is on F. Is it? I always forget to like put the stuff on. Yeah, it's on F. There you go. Let me put it right here. So let's see what's going on here. Just want to make sure. It's on E. Trying to go on F, so let's see if it will work. Too far. It's G. That's in the middle of G and F, so let's put it on 2. That's right. Now let me fix this one. This one says it's on B. So let's bring this down. One more should put on F. Let's see what that sounds like. This could go down. Actually, go one down. And what I'm gonna do here is the amount of voices need to come down to 2 because it's creating too many voices. So we have 32 voices. We need to go down to 2. So it doesn't make that sound that it's making. I need to shorten this. There you go. Sounds cool. Aim that snare, drop in or something. I don't know, whatever. Point is, how I want to get rid of that instance of battery and all this stuff that I got open. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna render in place, of course, and I am able to delete that because I don't need it anymore because I already have it as a WAV file, which is much better from because my CPU loves that when I take care of her, that bitch. Last but not least, I want to compress that. Our comp waves I love this compressor. A little bit too hot, so let me just bring it down a bit. Come on. I think it's really playing with me. And you can see it right there that, you know, it's just that point where it's just peaking. Now it's a little more balanced. So if I were to open this scope right here, I'll be able to see it. It sounds much better. It's a little more control. The reason why it sounds so flat all of a sudden is because I sent it to a buzz where I have all the drums and perks. So let's see what I got going on there. I got a Pro Q2. I got to take that out of there. And I got a compressor. All right, guys, there you have it. I think that my time is up for this episode. We have 44 minutes. I think I went a little too far, but regardless of what, thank you guys so much for watching. This is more EDM episode 1. Look out for episode 2 coming very, very fast. This track is going to be a really cool one. I know I didn't move as fast as I wanted to, but like you can tell, the track is going to be really dope. So guys, don't forget, please like, subscribe, and comment. Any questions you guys have or any suggestions as far as like topics and how to do what, who, how, and when, leave it on the thingy below. And please share this video and whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Make sure to follow on all the social media by simply going to my website, djmatt.com, or go to getmyremix.com to get all the bootlegs and all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next episode.